Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. It is the Daily Dish. Yay! And you're here. Even double yay. Let's fix this, man. Hello. Coming back in. Cheers to you, Miss Mother Hen. Mother Hen's in the house early today. And cheers to all of you. It's Wise Women's Wednesday. Miss Alice, good to have you here. I'm glad you're here. We are going to be bringing our friends over here at TikTok in shortly. But in the meantime, hey, Patsy, good to have you here. Who's drinking their hot milk mix, by the way? Where the heck have you been, Teresa? Good to have you here. My goodness, it's been a minute or 100 or so. Anyway, we're getting geared up tonight. The whole team and I are for our workshop. We have a Stop the Cravings workshop that is happening tonight. It's interesting. Some of the questions, because a lot of people are pre-submitting the questions, which I really like, because if there's something that I need to, do a little research on or whatever, I have the opportunity to do that. And some of the things that I have noticed, there is a definite pattern there. And I believe, really, truly, I do believe this with all of my heart, that we all have a place in our lives. We all have a tender spot where we're vulnerable to cravings, and that what is a craving anyway, but telling us that there's woundedness, there's trauma, maybe there's something going on because we cave into that. And then, unfortunately for a lot of people, those things become addictions and kind of take over life. I'm going to be talking about that tonight. And I'm going to be talking about how to stop cravings. And I'm going to be talking about how to stop cravings, not just about food cravings, but about that part of the brain that drives cravings, and not just brain stuff either, and just practical steps on how to get a hold of it. Because honestly, this is something that we all suffer from. I don't know of anybody who really doesn't, if really honestly, have some kind of a place where there's just, it's a soft and tender spot. And this is super helpful because it does help us to, become the women that we want to ultimately become. Vibrancy begins with the healing that we do inside. So it's not just about plans and taking the right supplements and going through the motions. It's also about healing the inside, and sometimes there's stuff there that needs to be dealt with, Tonight is a workshop of awakening. Let's just say that. If you're interested in coming to the workshop, it's at savingdinner.com/craving workshop. I hope to see you there. It's tonight at 7 p.m. I will be taking questions, and there's handouts. You're going to get the transcription. You're also going to get the video / audio, whatever you want to call it, but you'll get the whole thing. I see some other friends here. Sue is in the house. So is our friend Denise. And there is, who else did I see? I saw Jackie. Hello, sweet Jackie. It's so good to have you here. What is how long? How long is what? The thing tonight? I don't know. We'll see. It's probably going to be a few hours, a couple hours, I would say at least. Hello, Joey. My friend Joey. Joey and I, if you ever saw our video, I actually, it is posted in Francesca, hello too to you. Our video of us going through a Whole Foods tour is posted in the Hot Milk Sprint group on Facebook if you want to see that. It just basically, it was a really fun time. Joey we did a little drawing and everything, and it was just really fun. But it's going through the Whole Foods tour of just showing how to choose fish, what to look for in produce, all those different things. So it was pretty fun. Lily, it's been a minute since I've seen you as well. Nice to have you here. Anyway, that's what's happening tonight. So if you're interested in coming, it's savingdinner.com/cravings workshop. It was great, Joey, and I loved meeting you too. You were so much fun. So are you ready to dive in? And by the way, who doesn't have a journal yet? What? Come on, go get your Take Back Your Life journal and get on it. We just wrapped our Rising Tide. That was a 3-week intensive getting together of women who are really on the same page of wanting to get to the next level on their goals. Boy, wasn't that a great time? I'll tell you, you women who were there, my hat is off to you. I love to see women, be fully into their next steps for their vibrant lives. That's what I say about that. Anyway, let's get busy on this whole thing because I have something. Last night when we were having our Rising Tide, one of the things that Nancy said to me that she listened to Monday's show 3 times because it was helpful, because it helped her to see how to do things in a way that helps create the path that she wants to create. And by the way, permission granted to everyone. Don't do it just like I do it. Do it the way you need to do it, right? That's number one. But as I was thinking about that, and as I was thinking about all those things that Nancy was saying, I started thinking about the process of wisdom and how our wisdom is ultimately created by our belief system. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit today. And I first did this show in 2020 and 2020 when we were raging in the pandemic. And it was a good thing because there was so much misinformation. Well, like there's not a lot of misinformation going on this like now. I mean, it just seems like it's a pandemic of misinformation. But I want to talk about this in relation to how we reflect upon what wisdom is and what it isn't, and how we can get better at being BS detectors, and also allowing for the wisdom to really land inside of us. I believe with all of my heart that beautiful self that's inside of you, the self that needs the nurture and the love that's there, all of that in there gets just wrapped with wisdom from God, from wise people around you, and also just by the empathy and the beauty of your emotional intelligence that's inside, that you're open and willing to accept it. Maybe that's a long sentence for just, being wise. I don't know. But we're going to talk about it because, there is some process when it comes to wisdom. And I believe that this will help. We are going to go live on TikTok. Are you ready for it? Oh, and by the way, did you see the quote of the week? It's right here in the comments. Jenny just posted it. Be stronger than your strongest excuse. Be greater than your most negative voice. That right there is wisdom. Because there is always going to be something that's going to want to knock us off our high horse. And it's going to be uncomfortable. Can I just mention the discomfort of leaning into wisdom sometimes? Because it's not the easy way. There's things that need to be given up. There's old habits that need to go. And there's old beliefs that are being hung on to. And so that process of wisdom is very much is in this quote. Be stronger than your strongest excuse. Be greater than your most negative voices. And you know how low vibe negative voices are. Vibrancy is not low vibe. So just remember that. I do this for myself. I'm just going to share something that I do with myself. When I find myself feeling a little down in the mouth or feeling just like, man, I'm down and getting kicked around and just feeling terrible, I will always say, well, I'm not feeling XYZ yet. I will say that because I have the ability to maybe put that off when I say that. And secondarily, I know that I see in my head the vibrancy scale. I see up here that high vibrancy is abundant and love and giving and all these yummy goodness up here. And that low vibe is the negativity and the bad mouthing and the feeling bad and the blah, blah, the complaining. I see the negative, I see that whole vibrancy scale. So think about that as you're going through your life. And every day you have the opportunity before your feet even hit the floor to make a decision that it's going to be a wonderful, good day. And like we talked about last night in our group, I am living a beautiful life. Acknowledge that. Okay? All right, there's a piece of wisdom for you. Let's bring on our little friends over on TikTok. Hello, TikTok. The process of wisdom is created by belief, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. You ready? Are you ready? So the whole thing is that this whole idea of wisdom starts with reflection. Are you reflecting on your life? And are you reflecting on the positive parts of your life, or are you getting into the negative Nelly junk? Remember the Socrates quote? Everybody knows this one. The unexamined life is not worth living. That hit me by like a cosmic 2x4, by the way. And I found it to be one of the most impactful quotes I've ever heard. And the reason that I love this one so much is because it makes us go in and look at that life that we leave. And we also have to understand that because wisdom is created by beliefs, beliefs only become decisive once one is schooled. Now, how do you get schooled? How do you determine your schooling? Well, is that dependent on going and getting a graduate degree or whatever? Or is it depending on just, having one YouTube video or going to a seminar or whatever and deciding that that's it, you're an expert? Or maybe something that your crazy aunt sent you in an email. Anybody have a crazy aunt that sends you just absolute garbage? We all have that. That's all of that. All of that can have a play in it, but you're the one who gets to determine the value on that. And is it enough, or does it need to be more? On TikTok, for example, I've been a lot. She's a nutrition. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I got that on my video, 5 things as a nutritionist I would never eat. And I had people, bravo, yay, that's the best thing ever. I love what you had to say. And then I had other people coming on down and saying, well, you don't have your PhD. You're not a doctor. You don't know. So what is it? Where do we make that determination? Well, it's each individual person gets to have their own process of what they believe to be wisdom, and they create that from their own belief system. Philosophy means, from the dictionary, get this is so good, the love of wisdom. Of course it does. The love of wisdom. So how do we find ourselves in the place of the love of wisdom and pursuing the process of wisdom based on a belief system that can support all of this? How do we do that? Well, I believe that there's, how many? I wrote down 5. I've got 5 things. You ready for them? Number 1 is no more FOMO. Instead, let's go with FONT, F-O-N-T. Fear of not thinking. FOMO is fear of missing out. FONT is fear of not thinking. When we have knee-jerk reactions to things and we're not thinking things through, and we are more on the place of reacting instead of processing and thinking, it doesn't bode well for us. It doesn't make us look good, or it doesn't make us do well. Sometimes we have to stop this reacting thing, put ourselves in a timeout, and start slowing down and reflecting and be thoughtful. Back to front. The primitive part of your brain is back here. The front part, this is the prefrontal cortex, that takes a minute sometimes. And it takes a little processing, and it takes abstract thinking and sorting through. And when we do that, we can be thoughtful about our decisions. When we react, we are not, right? Number 2 is quality over quantity. Yeah? How about that one? Notice how that works with a few reflections. Notice that. And notice also how it works with a few adjustments and how much better you do it. Use this analogy on food. you've got real quality food over time results in less, meaning you're not less hungry when you're eating real quality food versus the fast food variety, for example. Quality versus quantity, quality wins every time. Number 3 is the art of nuance. Boy, I like this one so much. We have all or nothing attitudes about so many things, and all or nothing is nothing more than perfectionism. And perfectionism, full stop, will take you down because no one this side of glory is perfect. No one can handle it. No one can do it. No one has attained it. And going after that will only make you a little bit nutty every single day. It's the truth. So those are different than your food rules, by the way. And I'm going to be talking about food rules today, especially for tonight in my cravings workshop. That's at savingdinner.com/craving workshop. If you have not registered yet for it, is tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be talking about that because that is the thing that saved my life, saved me from the sugar monster, because I was completely addicted, and I did it not just once, I did it twice. So from personal experience and somebody who's been there, done that, got the t-shirt twice, I can tell you that setting these kind of parameters up make all the difference in the world, because we're not perfect. We need to live by a boundary. And there's no gray, by the way, when it comes to food. Did you know that? There is no gray. When people say to you, everything in moderation, would you eat rat poison in moderation? No, of course not. Moderation is, everything in moderation is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. And I hate that one so much because your body registers, this is food and this is not. Easy. Hey, Miami, welcome. This is food and this is not. And that is because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You were made from a blueprint that God himself did, period. And this, when we've got food, that food is information for our body. Otherwise, the stuff that's going and being fed into our mouth is nothing more than mouth entertainment. Mouth entertainment. And what is that? Except usually it's hooked to a craving, which is also hooked on the back of that is an addiction. So we got to take a look at that, and we have to understand that crappy food does not and will not ever support a vibrant life that we want. Won't. Can't. Impossible. It's like putting vegetable oil in your car. Is it going to run? No, absolutely not. So, however, this is the thing that we can do. We can understand, we can listen, we can empathize with others who have different viewpoints, right? Because different viewpoints sharpen us and help us to be more empathetic and loving, and it helps to clarify and allows us to have grace for one another. Have you noticed that might be a little bit missing in today's landscape? I've noticed it. There's just so much it's like the mean girl mantra comes out, and people have decided it's time to take this one down, I've seen it so much with like comments, and people put the little devil horns out like, yeah, I'm going to go get her. Watch the duet, Why? Disagree with me? Sure. Disagree with your neighbor? Fine. But do we have to be jerks? Do we have to be evil about it? I don't know. It just seems that is a definite sidestep from wisdom and into a very low level place. It really is. Number 4 is humble pie. We have to eat a little bit of humble pie every once in a while. Bertrand Russell said, the whole problem with the world is that fools and fanatics are always so certain of themselves, and the wise are full of doubt. And I know that to be a fact, that as we become wiser, that we also doubt, is this really the path to wisdom? Or is there something that I'm missing? And we're open to learn and understand even more. Because behind what we learn is even more to understand. If we are wise, we are always students. That's something that I know in my heart of hearts. And there's no way on God's green earth anyone is going to read all the books. That's for sure. Number 5, there's a balance. Ethics plus pragmatism equals wisdom. This is how we act with purpose, and this is the ultimate alignment assignment as far as I'm concerned. When we're in sync with our morals and apply them practically to help others, then wisdom has the opportunity to reign supreme. Have you noticed that? Beliefs become wisdom when we understand these philosophical points. And remember, what is philosophy except the love of wisdom? I hope you found that interesting. Like I said, this is a talk that I gave in 2020 during the whole of the pandemic, when everybody was, suddenly all the experts were popping up all over social media, the know-it-alls about all things. And it's time for us to step back and really take a distinct look at what wisdom is. How can we apply it to our lives? And how do we become our most vibrant selves? It's the path of wisdom, of course. And there's a process involved. I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm so excited about it. I see a lot of you who've already signed up for tonight's workshop on cravings. Stop the Cravings workshop is happening tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Go to savingdinner.com, Craving workshop, if you want to join us. We still have a few seats left. I sure appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Peace be with you. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.